Now, as per usual, if you watch the Scrapper and Gunlancer video, you can just skip the intro. I'm just going to do the intro again for anyone who maybe is only watching the Paladin one. I apologize for the lack of uploads recently. I recently got a job, if you don't keep up with my Twitch streams and Discord. I got a job. I work the front desk of a hotel, and that job is kind of mid, so I'm actually applying to a different job. Between balancing the job hours, trying to get my weeklies done, occasional Twitch streams, recording, editing, and all that stuff, it's been a struggle. So if you're wondering why I haven't been uploading as much, that's why. But anyways, the point of this video was I wanted to make a video showcasing my account at 3,000 hours. Now, I wanted to do that a while ago because as of right now, I'm at 3,400 hours, but nonetheless, I still wanted to showcase the account. And I don't want to do this in a way to taunt or flex my account, but more so to just log it and show around 3,000 hours, this is where I was at, whether it's for my own personal reference or for yours. Now, do keep in mind that 3,000 hours can look like a lot of different things. Some people have been spending money since the beginning. Some people haven't spent any money. Some people only do PvP. Some people prefer to hell raid. Some people prefer the horizontal content. So this is not to say that every single account with 3,000 hours is going to look just like this. This is just mine. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and look at my Paladin today. Now, I recently invested about 70,000 gold into getting this character 5 threes. Now, if you're looking at your screen right now, you may notice something's a little off, maybe. Now, most of the time for supports, people recommend the swiftness builds. They're good for babysitting, high uptime on your damage boosts, high uptime on your shields and protection, as well as purify and or guardian tune, in which case you can prevent debuffs. Now, I recently started a spec paladin build, and I saw all these things about why spec paladin wasn't ideal, and I thought, well, why does spec bard work? And people said, you know, spec bard, it takes about the same time to get up your 3 bubbles as the Sork does her ignition and all this stuff, and, you know, high damage output and blah yada yada yada. And I imagine with spec it's probably a bit more net profit on bard, because with bard, if you have 3 bubbles, that's a 15% damage boost, I believe. And for paladin, the blessed aura is at a flat 10%. Now, obviously this changes with how much spec you have, so I think overall bard would get a bigger damage boost out of it. But that's not to say that paladin can still benefit from spec. So I invested, tried it out, and over the past few days I've been trying it out with my friend. One of them plays an ignition Sork, the other one plays a barrage artillerist, and man, have they been pumping. It's been quite a fun time to play with. So I'll show you the build. Right now I have Spirit Absorption 3, Vital Point Hit 3, Awakening 3, Blessed Aura 3, Expert 3. I invested about 40k gold into buying Spirit Absorption 12 nodes. That was where the big chunk of the gold went to, right? I spent about 70k, and half of that went to getting Spirit Absorption 12 nodes. And this is the jewelry that I'm using. I'll just go through it real quick so you can see. Now, recently, I was also playing this build without Spirit Absorption. Can you play it? For sure. Do I recommend it? Probably not. The Spirit Absorption jewelry was on the more expensive side, but for right reason. If you're not using swiftness on your paladin, it feels incredibly clunky and slow. It feels slower than my blue Gunlancer. It feels so slow. So, adding Spirit Absorption was a very nice W for me. I personally enjoy it. If you don't like it, that's totally okay. If you just want to play swiftness, it's not bad at all. This video is not at all ridiculing swiftness paladin, because I still have a build for it. Still good. I just wanted to try spec. I've always wanted to try it, and now I have it, so this is going to be the main build that I'm using. I'll go over my quality as well, like I did in the other videos. Nothing crazy on this character. He's pretty mid. The gems, I have 9 cooldown gems. The reason being, I have 1 for Holy Sword and I have 1 for Holy Area. If I need extra stagger, I will sub out Holy Area for Holy Sword. But 9 times out of 10, I prefer to just use Executor Sword as my 1 counter and stagger skill, because Holy Area helps me gain more meter, as well as give my teammates a little bit of damage reduction when they're in it. I think one of the things I took for granted on a Swiftness Paladin is how fast you cast your abilities, which is another reason that Spirit Absorption is so crucial. Throwing out your Godsent, throwing out your Holy Area, throwing out your Sword of Justice, all of those things take so long. So Spirit Absorption is just an overall, it feels so much better. But that's the gems, HP card set, those are the engravings, those are the combat stats. I know some people asked, so I'll show it as well. It's just the white, and then FFC D7 is the gold color that I have on my armor with max on shine, 100% on shine. and I have a silver sword. And now I'll just go ahead and break down the skill build. It's what I think most people are using. But yeah, Light of Judgment with these tripods, 1 2 2, Holy Area, Quick Prep, Grace, Endless Grace, Holy Protection, Quick Pace, Purify, and Vow of Light. If you do not need to purify, you can always throw on Lingering Power, which is very nice. Sword of Justice with 1 1 1, God Sent Law with 1 1 1, Executor Sword. You can play around with these, to be honest. I only use weak point enhancement when I do Kungalanium. If I'm doing something else, I usually use Breath Control. You can also use Excellent Mobility. But it's not like a meter gain skill for real, and it's mainly just a counter, so you can just play around with whatever you want to use, right? For Wrath of God, we're using 3 2 2. The Faith, I know some people used to use Tenacity. You can. I've just gotten used to not getting hit while using it, and man, does this thing give a lot of meter. It gives a ton of meter. I'll try and get some footage today. I should be doing the rest of my raids on this character later today, so I'll try and edit it in a way that you can see some footage and whatnot. And for Heavenly Blessing, we are using 3 2 1. Now if I use Holy Sword instead, I will use 1 1 2. The repeated light from the last tripod allows all those extra attacks for counters, which allows you to have a bigger counter, allows you to execute a counter. How do I word this? It gives you more time to counter, if that makes sense, right? Because it's a longer animation and all of those hits count as counters. And then Outburst of Light is nice because you get to use the attack and it extends the range of Holy Sword even if you don't land the attack, right? Normally you have to land the Holy Sword the first hit in order for it to extend. With this tripod, you don't need to hit the first hit for it to extend, which is nice on certain bosses that counter from far away, like Vicus or sometimes Cuckoo. And then positioning is obviously just for charge up time. Some people use charge. I don't. I haven't used charge since I was like 1325, and I think some people use punishment for stagger builds, but that's only if you like really need the stagger. If I'm doing Argos, sometimes I'll even take off Executor Sword and just put on Light Shock just to have 8 yellow skills for that extra meter gain and whatnot. Man, that build is fun. But yeah, that's only on stuff where you do not need a counter, so most of the time I keep my Executor Sword. This is usually the build I'm running with. But yeah, that's pretty much everything about my Paladin. I'll show you my Swiftness build. It's pretty standard stuff. It's not 5/3s. I just have Blessed Aura, Vital Point Hit, Awakening Expert. I do have jewelry that I could set up drops of ether instead of Vital Point Hit as well. So yeah, I can play both. I enjoy both. I enjoy spec more. It's more fun to me. But obviously, play whatever you want to play. This video isn't to tell people what to play for Paladin. This is just showcasing my characters. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful in some way, shape, or form. And if you did, a like would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, it's been your boy Hyga. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.